What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Awakening World. I am Love Coach Scott Thomas, and we are the Global Peace Tribe. And tonight we are going to be talking about peace. We've got some very special guests, and they are going to be providing kind of their tips, their tools, and their practices, as well as introducing us to a wonderful new organization. You know, one of the major things that has happened as this show has evolved. We've been doing this for almost 4 years now. We're celebrating our anniversary next month. Is we collaborate with so many other different organizations. And we have worked a lot with Unify, and they've been really such an important organization that provides so many resources, amazing events through their network. And we're grateful for all the times they've carried our shows. And through Unify, I had the pleasure to meet Michael Kraus. And Michael is who is creating this wonderful new organization that we're going to learn all about tonight. And in a moment, we'll meet some of Michael's guests that he's invited to join us. But I also am excited to remind you that we, as always, have Omar Shar with us. And we also have a neighbor of Michael's who happens to be one of our all-time favorite musical artists. Tatiana Speed is with us tonight. Usually she's here on Saturday nights, but we get a special dose of Tatiana on Wednesday night. So that's pretty awesome. And so we're going to have a couple of songs from Omushar tonight, a couple songs from Tatiana. But Michael, I'm going to turn it over to you initially, just to give us a little introduction. Oops, I meant to pin you. To give us a little introduction to Awaken, and also to introduce your other guests.
Thank you, Scott. And I would actually like to express my gratitude for you first. And you said 4-year anniversary coming up next month. I know the amount of dedication and time and commitment it takes to do the show, and I just wanted to specifically point that out and say thank you, and also Omar Shar for always being there by your side. And I've always watched your show. I don't think I've ever been in the Zoom room, but I watch it on some of the Facebook pages that you're streaming it out to, and your contribution to humanity and specifically to the peace movement are extraordinary. So I just wanted to say really thank you from the bottom of my heart. We're going to have Tatiana Speed with us. We both live about 5 minutes away from each other on the Sunshine Coast in Canada. we're going to have Stephen Fattel here from an organization that is building revolutionary technology. And we also hope to have Chief Engine here. I'm not sure whether he's going to be able to make it onto the picture.
I'm here.
And
Howdy.
we wanted to talk about modalities and technologies and really action as to how we can bring peace to the world. And peace to me is not just the absence of war. Peace is a state of being. And specifically now with the Kogi message that came out on December 22nd, and I also want to welcome everybody here on the show. I know a few people personally that are in the room, and just thank you also for being there and for being a supporter of peace and for contributing to the light that we want to see in the world. And so tonight is all about, it's a little bit about what is it that we can do, what actions do we need to take, and how and what could that look like. And specifically in the wake of whatever is going on in the Middle East and in the Ukraine and in Sudan and also in combination with the Kogi message. And for anybody that is not familiar with the Kogi message that came out December 22nd last year, they gave a warning, or they gave a message from Mother Earth, and that message in the essence says, if we as one humanity are not going to make a commitment towards Mother Earth by June 22nd this year, by December 22nd, 2025, in a year and a half, 2/3 of the world's Earth mass will be gone. And the Kogis are a First Nations tribe in Colombia that receded into the mountains over 1,000 years ago and were sheltered from Western influence from the conquistadores. And for the first time, they came out, or they led a BBC film team into the villages in 1990. And at that point, they gave a warning towards humanity. And with the recent warning, I think they have expressed a desperate need for us around the planet to come together as one humanity. And I believe there aren't many people left on the planet who still have faith and trust in the institutions and in our political leadership to maneuver us through those critical times in human history. So what is it that each and one of us need to do? What is it that we need to shift into? How do we have to show up? But also, what actions do we have to take to actually get there? It's one thing to be talking about peace, and it's another thing to actually practice peace. But it's also not just one thing to talk about peace, is what does peace look like for each and one of us? And so as long as we're not clear what that is, we're going to have a hard time achieving it. And so what I wanted to introduce tonight is a platform that speaks really into that. How can we organize ourselves across the planet? What does peace look like for each and one of us specifically? And it's almost like being in a relationship. We're always really good to complain about what it is that we don't want in a partner, but we have a really hard time to articulate what it is that we do want. And it's the same with peace. If we don't have a clear direction, if we don't know exactly what that feels like or looks like or even smells like, then we're never going to get there. So this platform is encouraging people all over the planet to add their vision of peace into a global interactive map, so we can start to learn from one another and also recognize the commonality between each and one of us. And I believe we were all born with that light, with that flame inside of us that is a dream of peace. And we've been carrying this flame through our ancestral line into our point of singularity in this day and age to bring it forward. And so super excited to be here. Thank you, Scott, for allowing us to be here and sharing whatever we want to share.
Thank you, Michael. And I'm really looking forward to hearing more from you, Tatiana, and Stephen, and the Chief. And, you know, we always like to start our shows with music to get people moving and grooving. So I see that Jeffrey's ready to move and groove and dance. I'm going to turn it over. And by the way, people have asked, you know, Eleanor Joy is also who always dances. And today she had her surgery. And also Piper Dellums had her surgery. So just a brief update on that. I heard from Piper this afternoon. She sent a photo of herself. She's out of her surgery. It appeared to go well. And Eleanor Joy's partner, Ian, has been emailing me with updates. And she also appears to have had everything go well. So let's keep Piper and Eleanor in our thoughts throughout the show, and especially during Omashar and Tatiana's musical numbers. And we can imagine her dancing, and she'll be back with us hopefully next Saturday night. But for now, I'm going to turn it over to my beloved brother, Omashar.
The rose that blooms in the lover's heart, the open roads on this brand new start, and freedom comes with letting go. Life renewed, new seeds to sow. So take my hand, I'm with you now. Relax yourself and your furrowed brow. Past has gone, so say hello. No looking back, onward we go. This is the life awaiting us. With family supporting us, the sword of truth has cleared the way for us to rise our brand new day. Peaks for us to climb, new roads to walk, no reason why. It's time to smile and be as one. With all of life, the golden sun. This is the life awaiting us, with family supporting us. The sword of truth has cleared the way for us to rise our brand new day. The rose that blooms in the lover's heart, the open roads of this brand new start. Freedom comes with letting go. This life renewed, new seeds to sow.
A new Omashar song, and a perfect time as we're doing a show about peace. What a beautiful new song, Omashar. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. It's interesting. The song was called "The Rose That Blooms in the Lover's Heart," and a few nights ago, I was listening to a movie, and there was one line that this woman said in this most profound part of the movie, and it was called "The Rose." She said, "This is the rose that blooms in the lover's heart," and I wrote it down. I thought, "There's a song there." And about 4 hours ago, I thought, I'll write it now.
Wow.
So I spent the last 4 hours putting that together. It'll, as Tatiana knows, it'll evolve even more, but I thought I'm going to do it and put it out for tonight's show. So thank you for receiving the rose that blooms in the lover's heart.
I love it. It's straight out of the oven. It's like when you get a chocolate chip cookie and it's straight out of the oven, still warm. I love
Chocolate
it.
is still just slightly melting, so yes.
Beautiful. Thank you, Omashar. Thank you. I'm going to read just a couple comments and then turn it back over to Michael. But there are some beautiful comments that I want to read. And I really want to include we have so many of our favorite people in the Zoom room tonight. So I'm going to include all of you. First off, of course, loving responses for your song. Ayada writes, "How special that you shared it with us tonight, dearest Omashar. Thank you so much." Carol Craig writes, "Omashar, you are freaking amazing." Dia Therese writes, "This is a new favorite, Omashar." Andrew and Connie write, "Amazing song, dear Omashar." And it continues. Lots of comments coming in from Tatiana, Tiara, etc. And it is, what a blessing to hear a new song, right? I want to read a couple of other comments that came in. By the way, Michael, we actually have had, I'm forgetting her name, but she was on the show 2 weeks in a row, the woman who works with the Koji people, sharing very much. We've played that video a few times. So most of our regulars are quite familiar with the prophecy, with the video, and hopefully somebody will put in the chat box the name of the wonderful woman that my 68-year-old brain is not remembering right now, who was on the show twice in the last couple of months talking about all of that.
Ina Morrison?
Pardon?
Ina Morrison?
No, it wasn't Ina. If I hear her name, I'll remember it. It'll come back to me. Omashar, help me with this. You might remember.
It wasn't
her name.
Marsha or Martha.
Mary Gatchins.
Mary, thank you. That was it.
Winner.
Mary Gatchins. Thank you very much. Thank
Thank
you.
Now we have
That
a
was it. Um, Doug wrote something very beautiful. He wrote, "Peace is definitely one of the first things the Earth Mother is looking for. And it's part of what she wants the world leaders to commit to because it is essential to make it safe for the mamos to travel to all the places where they need to do their healing work." And I want to acknowledge Andrew and Connie are in Australia on their honeymoon film adventure, bringing the Aboriginal wisdom into their film In Search of the Future. There they are. I'm going to pop them on real quickly. And do you have a brief update from Australia?
I think we do.
We're heading for a corroboree, a ceremonial time of coming together up north near Byron Bay with Uncle Louis Walker, and Maureen's coming, and so the beat goes on. We've been on the coast of New South Wales, the south coast, and just being loved on by Australia and the people here.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And you had that amazing ceremony with the ancient 25,000-year-old being.
42,000-year-old
2,000-year-old. Think about that.
Mungo man with Ben
Mungo
Bowler and his family.
His
up
dad
at
is
Lake Mungo.
94, and these in Aboriginal elders. Quite amazing.
Which is beginning a year-long meeting the dreaming, which Jim Bowler wants to bring the dream time of the Aboriginals in with the scientific knowledge, bring it into the Western mind, which has been my commitment for 30 years, ever since I came in contact with the visionary elders of the Americas, including Phil Lane, brother Phil Lane. So that's the time now, is bringing that Aboriginal and indigenous knowledge into our hearts, our minds, and the new science is proving it all. And so we can align our hearts and our minds and do this thing. Bring peace
Beautiful.
on earth. And
Well, thank you for the wonderful work you guys are doing. We love you, and we always enjoy your updates. And stick around. We've got 3 more songs for you to move and groove and dance to. And I'm going to turn it back over to Michael and Stephen. And Stephen just wrote in the chat box, "Peace is the evolution of consciousness for all." And I would love for you to share a little bit more about what that means to you, Stephen. As he unmutes.
I have to. Yes, we're all one ultimately, and only through the evolution of consciousness that affects all people, and everyone's thoughts affects the whole entire field, do we move towards peace. So whether it is mass meditations, or it's the International Day of Peace broadcasts, or it is productions like what you're doing, Scott, every single one of those things adds a drop to the ocean. And what is the frequency of the ocean? Because we're all the ocean. We may think of ourselves as a wave at one point. We may think of ourselves as a drop, as an individual. But ultimately, at least this is my belief, we're all the one. We're all the self, the Brahman. There's so many different names depending what cultures you come from. And with respect to every single one of them, as anyone evolves their own consciousness, it affects every single one around them. So after decades of work in the peace community that I often feel like I'm hitting my head against the wall, that's ultimately the way I can put it into a concise sentence, since it was being asked for.
Well, thank you. Reverend Jeffrey Colebrook, who's one of our absolute beloved regulars, just wrote, "Then we become aware of that which is divine within us. Finally, we become aware that all is divine and that there is nothing else. This is the moment of our awakening. That is deep peace." So that's beautifully stated. Thank you, Reverend Jeffrey. Michael, share with us more about AWAKEN and what you're doing and how all the people watching can participate.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to add something or pick up what Stephen said. And when you said hitting your head against the peace movement, I think that was the word that came out of you. My experience right now on this planet is that we feel completely divided and conquered. And I always make the attempt to talk to people, whether it's on the street, whether it's in the grocery store, wherever it is. And I try to kind of probe a little bit of where people are hanging out in terms of the environment, in terms of education, in terms of our economic system, in terms of healthcare. And I think 100%, literally 100% of the people, when asked, well, what is it that you think we should do? The response is, there's nothing I can do. And this is a very, very sad moment in that understanding. And I don't believe it's true. I think there's a lot that we can do, and Stephen talked into it, and whatever we can, however we can raise the frequency or our consciousness, we're contributing to the oneness that we all are. And I believe that the power of our minds, the power of our hearts, and ultimately the power of our individual and collective conviction is going to be able to make a global transformation. And I come from understanding that we're not just all connected. And when I say that is, when you look at a triangle, there is 3 lines that connect towards one another, which build a triangle. I see it more, we're a circle. There is no end, there is no beginning, there is no end, there is no separation between me and everything else around me, because we're one living, breathing organism, and we're walking on our mother. And that's really my understanding. And so what can we create? What do we really have to do, other than who do we have to be, or who do we have to become to create transformational changes, and even go a little bit further and say, how can we organize ourselves? And if perhaps those structures and infrastructures that have been built for us that are no longer resonating with any of us, whether it's healthcare or economy or we all know it's something is crumbling underneath our feet. What is it that we need to build to create a safety net once that structure is going to come down? What could that look like? And how can we still communicate? And how can we, most importantly, collaborate and cooperate through compassion and kindness and empathy, and what could that look like structurally? And so what I would like to do is I would like to share my screen for a second and show you a little bit of what I've been working on. And surprise, oh, can you see it? No, you can't.
Yes, yeah, we see.
Okay.
Connecting people, visions, and wisdom.
For some reason, it doesn't show up on my screen as being shared. And surprise, surprise, it's called AWAKEN. And so what this whole project is really based on is Dr. Martin Luther King's quote, "Those who love peace must learn to organize as effectively as those who love war." And the emphasis behind that is learn to organize. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be coming out of the gate and everything is going to be fine. But it is a start in trying to organize those who love peace around the world, and do it and serve as a supportive organizing hub in preparation for this emerging global transformation. And so there's 2 main components to it. One is a global map where those who love peace can identify themselves around the planet. And what the Brahma Kumaris did in 1996. The Brahma Kumaris, for anybody that is not familiar with them, is the largest female-led spiritual organization on the planet, with over 1 million followers and over 5,600 retreat centers around the planet. And in 1996, they went out and they sent their followers out into their communities, and were asking community members, what is a vision for a better world look like for you? And then they came back and they turned this into a book. And so what I envision, and when I say I, it's not coming from a point of ego, but when I say I'm representing this project here in how I'm talking, is a mapping system all around the planet where people can add themselves to the map and share their vision of what peace looks like for them. If we're going to start to see that peace might look very similar to somebody in Johannesburg and in Dubai and in Riyadh and in Mexico City, then we're going to start to understand that we're all working on the same dream. And at the same time, if we can visualize that there is millions, tens of millions, or hundreds of millions of people around the planet who carry that vision and that dream of peace, then we're going to be able to instill hope around the planet. Because what I had spoken earlier into, when I ask people and they say, there's nothing I can do, I believe that has to do with our separation. If we can visually create a mapping system where we can see that we're not alone in this, then we're going to be able to create modalities and systems and especially hope around the planet. And I want to zoom into this area here, which I believe is somewhere in New York. And if I go deeper into it, all of a sudden here in New York, there is 3 people that all have a vision for peace around the planet. And so my question is, what is their area of contribution towards peace? Is it environmental contribution? Are they working on education? Are they working on sustainability? What is it, and how can they more effectively and efficiently collaborate on the ground to bring that change and transformation into real communities around the planet? And so over the next few days, we're going to add different layers to this map with specific pathways to peace. And I saw David Wick here early on with their categories as to how we can categorize our efforts towards peace around the planet. And if you go to the website awaken.global, you can add yourself to the map. You can add your vision for peace into it. And I believe that it is the first step into creating peace on the planet, is to become really, really clear what it is for each and one of us, but also collectively what peace looks like. The second part that we're going to be launching by June 22nd is a 24/7 live broadcast room, where for the first time in human history, we're going to be able to take a voice imprint and translate that into different languages, which means Scott Kentamas can do his Awakening World, and he can speak in English, and his voice imprint will be translated or cloned into Arabic, Spanish, Chinese, Hindi, whatever language we're going to be choosing. And I believe that for the first time, when this technology is ready to come out, we're actually going to be able to hear each other's soul. Rather than hearing an interpreter or reading it on Zoom, I believe that there is, in our communication, the quality of the spoken word is not just about what the word means, but how it's spoken and how it's going to be conveyed from our soul to another soul. And so this hopefully is going to open up a language barrier. And what Stephen said earlier on, with banging our heads against the peace movement, I sometimes feel there's people in North America that are centered around the peace movement, and there's people in Australia and people in Europe, and yet there is no cross collaboration. There is no cooperation. And I believe we've come to a point in human history where needs to be our main priority. And one other thing that I wanted to mention is, no, it doesn't work. On June 22nd, we are launching a 24-hour drum wave across the planet. And as a indication and as a symbol to have each other hear each other, as a symbol for unity and unification, but also through the power of the drum, send a message into the mycelium network of the planet, or of our Mother Earth, that we are here in solidarity with her, which coincides with the 22nd of June with the Kogi message. And my thought was that, well, how can we collectively inform Mother Earth that we are standing in solidarity for a healing process, and that we've decided that we wanted to stay here on this planet and support her in that healing, and also through the drum inform the waters of the planet that we're here in solidarity and in healing towards Mother Earth. And I'm not sure why the page doesn't work, but if you have a chance, go to awaken.global, check it out. If it doesn't work today, it's going to work tomorrow. If it doesn't work tomorrow, it's going to be working by the weekend. And this is a work in progress. And I'm honored that Stephen and Chief Engine have come in with a product that, in my opinion, also holds a really, really significant piece towards the unification of the human family, but also ensures that we're going to be able to create a safety net, and it ensures our sovereignty and our freedom of speech and the ability to communicate with one another in any event. And so I'd like to either hand it back to Scott if he
Yes. Thank you very much. And I'm going to actually turn it over to Tatiana. We're going to chat for a moment and hear from her. And Michael, I did try putting in you emailed me a code, and getting that code isn't working. So you might want to check and see if we can get a code that works to share with the audience tonight.
Technology is always a pain.
Technology, speaking of that, everybody, I sent out an email with our new registration link, and Constant Contact changed their platform and changed their programming, and their whole system is kind of down right now. I've been on with them for the last 3 days. So thank you for all of you who got the email, went to register, and then couldn't get to the payment page. It's a Constant Contact issue, and I've been with them for years. I've never had a problem before, but they're also stuck. So lots of technology challenges and issues. Also, for those of you in the Twin Ray community, the Twin Ray platform that was supposed to launch has gotten bogged down in technology issues. So we just have to breathe through it. And it's interesting how that works. But better than technology and much more reliable is the human spirit. And one of my all-time favorite human beings, and one of our favorite human beings, is Tatiana. And she's with us tonight. And Tatiana, we're eager to hear you play. But before you play, tell us about what all this means to you, your work with Michael, your neighbors, the peace movement. You've been working a lot with Unity Earth and with you did that amazing project with Sister Jenna. So, share with our audience a little bit about your adventures for those of you who haven't, for those who haven't read about it on Facebook. Catch us up on the wonderful world of Tatiana.
Sure. Well, Michael's kind of come into my life like a shooting star. He's just brought me into this incredible experience. He invited me to come to the Sister Jenna TV pilot, and that experience was really profound for me. It was, I was so incredibly nervous. It felt like a big step up, kind of just being with this caliber of people, and then when I got there, the grace in the room just utterly transformed any fear I had into this feeling of trust and love and connection. Sister Jenna is exquisite. I had never heard of the Brahma Kumaris before, but wow, there's such a beautiful frequency coming through them. I don't know who this person was, Michael, maybe you can tell me, but she came up and she led a meditation, and it was one of the most powerful meditations, the transmissions that I've ever experienced. I was with my partner, and we both midway just looked at each other like, what is going on? It was as if the whole room got illuminated. It was.
Was that Dr. Ivy? Did I see Dr. Ivy in the Zoom?
Yeah, Dr. Ivy is with us. Is that who you're referencing, Tatiana?
I don't know. She was older. I would never have it was like so unexpected. She came up so humble. She was an older woman. I think she leads the Vancouver, maybe Brahma Kumaris.
Yeah.
Yeah, she came up.
Oh,
It's you.
yeah.
Hi, Dr. Ivy. I
Yeah.
recognize you.
Hi.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real good to see you.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear you. And when I saw you and Michael, I said, oh, I don't care what I'm doing. I have to be here tonight.
Oh, that's so special. Yay.
And
Yeah,
Dr. Ivy led the meditation for this same television show that you were talking about.
I didn't hear if she did it maybe when I wasn't there, because I don't remember.
No, I think she may be talking about one of the Brahma Kumara elders.
Yes.
Yes, I did conduct one, but I think you were just coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an elderly lady, and it was so funny because it was like I loved it because it made me just taught me again, like you can never know the power someone's packing, because she came in so humble, and I just would never have expected it. But the moment the meditation started, it was like light was just permeating into my cellular structure. It was pretty incredible. So yeah, so that experience was really profound. It's really amazing to see you here, Dr. Ivy. I loved singing with you that night. I hope we can sing again. And yeah, I'm really grateful to Michael for introducing me, for bringing me into this beautiful, beautiful circle of people.
Beautiful. Thank you, Michael. Isn't it beautiful how our whole family is coming together? Andrew and Connie and Dr. Ivy, and just, more and more and more we're coming together. And I use this analogy all the time, but we really are the imaginal cells of the new paradigm finding each other. And as the old world, the caterpillar that's eaten too much collapses and dies, we're finding each other. And there are thousands, if not millions of us that are coming together to create a beautiful new awakened world. And the music and the artists will always lead us, because they are the visionaries that get it before us muggles. And so, Tatiana, I would love to hear anything else you'd like to share. And then when you're ready, your first song tonight.
Sure. Yeah, I'm just going to put you back on gallery so I'm not looking at myself. There we go. Yeah. Just that I feel so passionate as an artist exploring how music can be used to uplift, to heal, to awaken, to bring humanity together. I really see music as a bridge a bridge between cultures, languages, borders. You know, I was thinking about this the other day, like one song, one melody, one rhythm can unite us. And I've experienced that many times traveling, how I start playing music with people I've never met before. More and more people come, and it just creates this oneness field, this frequency. And yeah, as an artist, I'm really excited about exploring how music can bring us together, how music can bring us into these oneness fields. I also use music to bring us inside. And so I'm going to play 2 songs tonight. The first is more a song that I wrote to really bring people together. It's called the One Home Anthem, and I wrote it for an organization called Home for Humanity that's going around the world right now. And they should really be connected to what you're doing, Michael. But they're going around the world creating homes for humanity everywhere on the planet. They're planning in 7 years to go to every country on Earth and create these refuge, these sanctuaries, these places for people to feel safe, to thrive. And it's 7 years for 7 generations. It's like a really ambitious vision. It's incredible what they're planning to do. So this is a song that I wrote for them. And then another song I'll play later on is more using music as a bridge into deeper connection with ourselves inside, turning inward. So coming out, coming into connection, and then the bridge back into ourselves, into our own heart. That's what excites me about music these days. So this is called the One Home Anthem. I also chose it tonight because
Whoops. Tatiana, you just froze. I wonder if her computer, sometimes people's computers stall out.
She'll be back.
She will be back, no doubt about it.
Get your Kleenex ready, everybody.
Michael said it's his favorite song, so.
Oh, okay, there she is.
Am I
Tatiana,
back?
we lost you for a moment.
Okay.
And I'm noticing your internet's in the red. So if there's anything, if you can close any other programs, if there's anything you can do. Now you're back to white.
Okay.
It shows me the quality of a person's internet connection. So maybe somebody else, in your neighborhood downloaded something or whatever. But you're good again.
Okay. We had a big snowstorm today. So, so let's just hope it's okay. I found that if it happens again, I'll probably just have to restart it. That's what I found works the best. Yeah. Okay, let's hope the One Anthem takes us home right now. I'm going to play it for you.
All right. All right.
For too long, too many people have been left homeless. For too long, we haven't seen enough progress. For too long, exiled, displaced, and alienated, people walk this earth devastated. For too long, we've lived in separation, forgotten our true nation, this earth the home to all future generations. Cut off from life, cut off from each other, we've forgotten nature, our only mother. This disconnect is our deepest wound. Towards wholeness, we must reattune. Whole life, whole person, whole systems, all cultures, one planet. If you feel this truth, let's stand for it. Let's reclaim home as the destination. Choose inclusion over separation. And build a refuge, a sanctuary, a place of healing that nurtures and supports all beings. Let's build a home right where we are. Let's build a home for all of us. Let's build a home for humanity. Let's build a home that nurtures all of life. It starts within. It starts with me, it starts with you. Can we turn to ourselves and see ourselves anew? What do we love? What do we cherish? For what do we stand on this beautiful planet, this sacred land? It starts with community, creation, culture. Can we build together, my sister, my brother? It starts right here, right now. Put the seeds in the ground until life springs up all around, and we can walk through our garden, this home that we make. Together we change humanity's fate, and from the local to the global, from the I to the we, from the north to the south, from the west to the east, all cultures, all borders, all peoples, all life. We can come together and ignite a home for all to which all belong. This is the prayer, this is the song. Let's build a home right where we are. Let's build a home for all of us. Let's build a home for humanity. Let's build a home that nurtures all of life. One world, one home, one heart, one life. All people, all cultures now. One world, one home, one heart, one life. All people, all cultures now. Let's go home. We are going home. Let's go home. We are going home. From the power with to the power to, we can change and create something new. Hold the vision, hold the mission, hold the line. We are birthing a new paradigm. Homecoming, we are all becoming who we need to be to hold off this catastrophe, down on our knees with prayers for peace for this indivisible family. Around the world, feel the hearts opening. Around the world, feel the hands extending. Around the world, feel this movement coming. All cultures, all peoples, one planet, one home.
Tatiana,
Mm.
you have such an extraordinary ability to bring channel to be a clear channel for spirit to flow through, to speak of something important in a way that just blows our hearts wide open. And wow, I'm going to bring Michael on. Let's go to gallery view. I was so blown away by all of that. That's why I didn't want to go to other people. I just wanted to stay focused on Tatiana. But I'm going to go to gallery view and let's all give her some big twinkles and some big love and appreciation for that magnificent heart, beautiful voice, clear channel for spirit to flow through.
That's why I said get your Kleenex ready. The divine feminine, at its divine femininity, at its finest. So every time I hear this song, Tatiana, I have tears in my eyes, and I just a couple of weeks ago I went through ceremony and I was able to hear the cry of Mother Earth, the cry of the divine feminine, the cry of all the women, the pain, the traumas, and also the cry of the divine masculine, trying to find the balance with the divine feminine and that struggle within it, and the expression of your music, the way you express it, the words, it and the energy within, the power within you, and your being is extraordinary. It's every time I have to pull out the Kleenex and I do it with joy.
Oh, that really touches me. Thank you, Michael.
Even my dog jumped into my lap. She so enjoyed the song. I'm going to read just a couple of the comments that came in. I love what dear Therese just wrote. She says, I am tearing up. How I love being an imaginal cell with this awesome, precious soul named Tatiana. Carol Craig got goosebumps. Jude, that was so beautiful. Thank you. Stephen writes, that was lovely. And Tatiana, we have a request from Susan. The organization you talked about that's building the homes, can you put in the chat box any information like what the
Sure.
URL is? Deirdre just wrote so beautiful and healing. Thank you, Tatiana.
Yeah, it's called the One Home Journey. It's Jean Houston is actually the chairman on this organization.
Oh, wow.
And so she's working very closely with this movement. And it's already been a movement that's been happening for several years, but now they're really, their vision has just kind of like quantum leaped into what they're doing now. And so they asked for me to write the anthem for their movement. So this is the anthem. And
Fantastic.
yeah.
Jean lives here in Ashland, where I am right now. I'm in Ashland, Oregon.
Wow.
And Jean lives here as well. She's been on the show before, but not for a while. We need to have her on again.
Yeah.
So it's One Home Journey, and then is it onehomejourney.org or?
So the organization is called Home for Humanity, and then this movement that they're doing, the 7 years for 7 generations, is called the One Home Journey.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So Home for Humanity.
You've had them online. You've had them on, Scott. Alexander and Rama. I'm pretty sure
Oh, really? Oh my God. Of course, Alexander and Rama.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it is really, truly amazing how just, and as I look at all the people in our audience, we've got our wild monk, Sherry Anderson from the Mystic Monastery. We've got Reverend Jeffrey down in Florida, Dr. Ivy Shadia, who we love when she's on the show. So many wonderful souls, all doing your part, all playing your part, your role. Ayada is who brought on Mary and, gave us all the information about the Koji people. And a lot of our Global Peace Tribers then joined that 10-day program that Mary promoted. And there's wonderful Sylvia, who's always creating peace in her wonderful ways. So I'm just really acknowledging this beautiful Global Peace Tribe, each and every one of you, and everybody out there watching on Facebook, even though I can't put your camera on you. If you're listening to my voice right now, you are one of the imaginal cells, and we all have a role to play or different roles at different times. So thank you, everybody. And with that, I am going to remove the spotlights and go back to Michael and Stephen to share a little bit more about what you guys are up to and how we all can play together with you.
Stephen, want to take it from there and showcase the Love Global Wi-Fi?
Sure. Thank you all. David Wick, I think, went to dinner, but I really want to shout out to David because I love David and been working with him and Avon for 15 years. I'm not going to get into my background too much because it would just take too long, but I am going to mention that I have been to the Love Temple 25 years ago with Scott Thomas, and I think he came out to a few of the events that I put on when I was running the Light Bridge 25 years ago, including special weekends out at the Integratron for multiple groups of people who are trying to raise consciousness. Mm-hmm. So for this particular group, just being able to say that I've been with along the same lines with Scott for at least 25 years, because this was before my kids were born, should
it's so cool. In one of my many incarnations in this lifetime, I had a beautiful home up in Bel Air, Southern California, and we called it the Love Temple, and we had concerts and interesting speakers and all sorts of magic going on at that house for 5 years. It was quite a community home that my girlfriend and I had created. And so it's really fun for me when I meet somebody like Stephen who was there. And going out to the Integratron, like that was like the thing. It was like going out to the desert, to this, in the middle of the desert, there was this incredible thing called the Integratron, and then all the events that would happen out there. So it is pretty cool that we've been on some sort of a cutting edge together for quite a while.
Absolutely. I worked with Avon Madison and Culture of Peace Initiative and them for about 15 or so years. We founded the International Day of Peace Global Broadcast. I've been working in a variety of things that have to do with peace.
Avon's very last public appearance was on my show, Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. She was on, it was in September, and we were doing our annual, every year, of course, we do the Peace Day program. She was on it, and 10 days later, she left her body.
Yeah, Avon was beautiful. I talked to her the day before she died. I could not believe that had taken place. At any rate, I do think it's important that we honor the people who have paved the way. And if there's anyone who's done that, it was certainly Avon.
Yeah.
And Hezekiah and David Wick and the people who are continuing on with the Culture of Peace initiative are doing a wonderful job of making sure that her legacy doesn't go away, that we continue. And we need to continue to promote the idea of peace. Now, I honestly believe that the basis of peace, to be at peace, is love. You have to be able to love, right? And that is why the new technology, and I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself to make this make sense, but the reason that it's called, as you see behind me, love, but L dot, O dot, V dot, E dot. The dots are important because if you search for love, you're going to find God knows all sorts of things, and some of them aren't even have anything to do with peace, right? They've got to do with other carnal aspects of being a human being. So that's why we have dots, but we do want people to see whenever they go online in places all over the world, we want them to see the word love. I see when I go online, I'm sure all of you, when you go to look at your network, you're going to see all of your neighbors' network's names. It could be Verizon, it could be Comcast, it could be, Bad Buddy, it could be whatever it is. But we want people to see the word love. Every thought that goes out of every human being, if there is enough thought, even if they don't know what it means, if they have the thought of love, then we're adding love to the world. So that's why this system is called Love Global Wi-Fi, and it comes from a sovereign indigenous tribal, I won't say community. I mean, they're actually the First Nations. They go all the way back to the Selix. They're still sovereign. And Chief Anyin is here, hopefully. I don't know. It's been some time. I haven't seen it. There he is. There is Chief Anyin of the Okanagan Indian Confederacy, who is the creator of the Love Network. And before he jumps in, I want to make this, share this with you. The yugas, there's 4 yugas. I'm going to assume for your audience, they know what I mean by yugas, right? And we have had 4 essential ages that we've lived through, right? We have the hunter and gatherer age, and then the agricultural age, and then the industrial age. And now we're supposed to be in the information age. The ages are like the yugas. That's the opportunity that we have here in the information age. So from my unique background and perspective, which comes from the Siddha yogic tradition and practicing with various gurus, masters, etc., whatever got me to the consciousness level that even 25 years ago I was going to Scott Katamas's Love Temple. My personal path has been to utilize technology in a way that will raise consciousness. That's what I'm here for, right? Utilize technology in a way that's going to raise people's consciousness. And the most effective manner, which I found actually has come through Chief Anyin himself, and the traditions of the First Nations people. So I think probably at this point it'd be best if I just turned it over to Chief Anyin and introduced you to this very unique individual for a little bit to talk about what love is and where it came from and why we have it.
Beautiful. And Michael, do either Michael or Stephen want to just introduce a little bit about Chief Engine? Anything you want to introduce so that we know a little bit more about this beautiful man?
He's an enigma. um, well, I don't really know that that's my place. I mean,
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Chief Engine, then, welcome to the Awakening World, and would love to hear what you'd like to share with us tonight.
Oh, many blessings out there to everyone throughout the globe with the peace communities connected to the tribe communities. It's a global tribal effort. We're here to work as a global peace community ourselves. A lot of the history of the Okanagan Indian Confederacy that's connected into the Selix First Nations bands with the elder that holds the titles, along with my mother, the Aboriginal Selix matriarch, and our lands are unceded out in Canada, Penticton, Canada area for reservation. I'm representing a lot of technology that I brought in and infused into this particular tribe because she treated me like a family member, brought me in with 7 siblings, and things of that nature. I'm a bit of a humanitarian crisis myself. She is too. So thank everyone out there that's tried to help us. We had a lot of technology and a lot of resources to bring it at one point, and then we started bringing together multiple nations, realizing this is not just put new internet up and private internet up on reservations. This is kind of bigger than that. Stephen is the one that emphasized that to me initially. To be frank with you, we were just going to set up private sovereign diplomatic internet to each of the reservations, starting inside out, with the Alliance of Indigenous Nations, the Hakka people, the Pueblos tribes, and more that we're closely related to. But with that said, now that we're starting Love Network as a global peace initiative, the whole goal was to put everyone into a loving environment that's private, that doesn't milk your data and your brain for information and sell it off to someone. It's just a private, sovereign, diplomatic radio white noise intranet that's being put up on reservations, but now being made available with portable devices globally to keep us keep our data stored on our unceded territory, so that it's not being put anywhere. So it's weird. It's internet where no one's actually looking. So it's really difficult to figure these advanced, complex issues out, especially geopolitical. And the peace people and the forces behind y'all have helped us tremendously. And as we are starting to make a global, let's say, an ordeal, we built apps and things around just this, so that people just can go there, no ads, and just be alive and hang out and chat, do voice calls, whatever, conferencing. We built an app for this kind of stuff too. And just bring out a sovereign diplomatic movement together as a community through channels as a practical peace outcome. Anywho, on behalf of the Aboriginal matriarch, she's not here. She's representing on our territory out near Penticton Indian Band Reservation, unceded territory over there. She holds her titles to her lands over there at the Saca Lake. She's the Ogopoco clan and den mother as well. And I'll continue to represent her into the nations all throughout the world. But I'm only just one tribe, and we are only just one tribe. See, so we need help. Anybody out there, please do. Thank you, by the way. That was some beautiful music and stuff and intros, but good Lord. Anyway, yeah.
Well, thank you for the beautiful work that you're doing. And on the show, we absolutely do our very best to honor our Indigenous wisdom keepers. And thank you for appreciating the music. That's a perfect segue, because it is time for another Omoshar song. And while we're doing that, if there's any way that we can promote you or any more information, if you have a URL, please put it into the chat box for us. And thank you for blessing us with your presence and for the beautiful work that you're doing, sir. Thank you so much.
Brahmin speed to the peace people out there. Thank you.
Beautiful. Well, here's one of my favorite peace people. Here's Omoshar for his next musical number for tonight.
Nothing in my life's the same. It seems my world is falling into the dust that gave it birth. Empty feelings find me deep in contemplation, waiting for the rise of Mother Earth. And we all know what we've come here for, and we all feel that our hearts are true, and together we will make it home, and we'll trust to love once more. Walking through these fields of fear that bid for my attention. I don't live here anymore. I surrender to the flow that gives me new direction. All there is to do is trust and fly. And we all know what we've come here for, and we all feel that our hearts are true, and together we will make it home, and we'll trust to love once more.
Let's go to gallery view and give lots of love and twinkles to beautiful Omashar. That is such a beautiful melody, such a beautiful song.
It is. It's haunting. It's. I often wonder who wrote that.
It is. It does have a haunting quality to it, Omashar.
It does indeed. Yeah.
And
I played that on 4 continents. So there we go.
Wow. Susan just wrote, one of my favorite of your songs, Omashar. I love the chord progressions. You really melt our hearts.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And a reminder, everybody, that we can get much more Omashar by going to his website, omashar.com, where we bring forth the divine through his beautiful music. And if you scroll down, always Bandcamp. That's the place to buy his music, his beautiful albums. And so let's all support. If you don't have his albums, please go get them right now. And Omashar, thank you so much. You really are such an incredibly important part of my life and our Global Peace Tribe world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I love you.
And lots of comments, of course, coming in. I like what Andrew and Connie just said. It's a trust frequency theme song.
It is. And yes, it's interesting watching Connie and Andrew because I think they're really at home there. They're so chilled. And I don't think I've ever seen Andrew so laid back. So g'day, mate. Good on you. And enjoy your corroboree.
I'm trying to find, where are they? There they are. I'll bring them up for a moment. Is that true? Are you feeling truly at home there?
You know, the way it came to me before I left Colorado, I said, I'm going home to a place I've never been. And that has turned out to be true. I grew up in this culture, but in South Africa, so in a British colonial Southern Hemisphere culture with all the same fruits and, you know, some of the same birds and fish and so on, and the attitudes and the people. And yeah.
Well, the funny thing is,
yeah,
that's where us Brits exported all our best thinkers out to Australia. And I spent time at Alice Springs and Uluru a little while ago. I have walked the path that you're walking a little bit, so I'm really grateful.
Connie's been invited to a women's gathering at Uluru in April.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. I'm going to switch back to Stephen and Michael. And Stephen, I've pulled up your website. And so I'm wondering if there's anything in particular that, and again, it's lovemypod.com. And is there anything you want to definitely kind of direct us towards?
Sure. So thank you very much. All right, so what is this device? Because we didn't actually get a chance to talk about that.
Right.
And thank you for coming back to that. So this is a Wi-Fi device that is completely private. It's got a double encrypted blockchain technology so that anything you do here, nobody is going to be able to track you or utilize your data. That to me is the most important thing. To other people, there's other aspects of this which is more important, which is you're always going to be online, right? Like in Maui, when the fires happened, the cell towers burnt down, so people couldn't reach out for help. This device uses the hybrid MiFi system, meaning that we do use 4G. We don't use any 5G due to the ionization. We believe that I'm not going to get into the debate of this, but we believe that the 5G megahertz are not productive to human cell regeneration. So we only use 3G and 4G, but we also utilize satellite, which has been put up by the Okanagan Indian Confederacy. And every one of these devices creates a mesh network. Now, this device is this big.
Wow.
Right. Okay. I don't know. I've got a background, right? I'll get rid of my background. You guys are all going to see my room.
If you put it in front of your shirt, you will see it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Let's just do that. My background's filled with drums. Actually, I wanted to say woohoo for the drum thing. So as you can see, this is a really tiny device. This is one of our prototypes. So it doesn't have our branding on it. Actually, these type of devices, you might see them elsewhere, but they don't have the same chips in them because the chips belong to the Okanagan Indian Confederacy. And in other words, Chief's tribe. He designed this. And they also connect with satellite when you don't have 4G. They also mesh. So every one of these devices is like a satellite.
Wow.
Everyone is basically a satellite. It broadcasts and it receives, which means that as we get enough of these things out there, we will have our own completely private internet. If the internet goes down, we don't care.
Wow.
Right? No, it's radionic.
Yeah, it's radionic. So it's like, here's the difference between our interwebs for our tribes to connect to peace. It's that it's sending out noise instead of the scary 5G stuff, that 60 gigahertz band radiation stuff or whatever. It's sending out clean white noise that doesn't have all that radio feedback. And each one of those pods are basically send and receive satellites that just makes the internet faster and faster, but it's all an intranet. and the data is stored on our territory, unceded First Nation territory. And so it's just clean white noise that's being sent out to 10 devices from your hand from a satellite. That satellite is a radio device. It's a radionics device. The sound conversion device, basically.
Wow.
Guys, this is truly, I'm afraid they're going to come kill me. It's that kind of stuff. Okay. Really. I mean, this puts out a radionic signal that can be actually productive to cellular regeneration for those who are familiar with what radionics actually is. Most people have no idea what radionics actually is. But so, you know, if the internet went down, those people who are part of our network will not lose this. Michael Kraus, right, with AWAKEN, we're going to be working with their map system. So those users who choose to make themselves available on that map will show up as a certain color, that they have a love pod, so that if there's some kind of emergency where the internet goes down or whatever it happens to be, they'll still be able to communicate with one another. They'll still be able to do barter, trade, get food, get support, things of that nature. And we want to identify all those people who are working towards peace on the planet, on that map, and be able to say they have their own private intranet. This is not a normal hotspot. A hotspot just gives you access to the regular internet, which is owned by the corporate world. This is a private sovereign intranet protected by the United Nations treaties. That's why your data is never sold or shared, because it doesn't belong to a government. We're not a byproduct of the US corporation. We are part of a sovereign indigenous culture that goes back thousands of years and is actually recognized under the Celix bloodline. So it's very hard to explain all this, Scott. I'm so sorry that I can't. Hope I'm doing the best job I can.
I can just jump in real quick. The Peace folks, we're trying to get out the Love Network that connects our intranet, which is an internal internet, together, right? The more of these pods that go out, the faster and stronger and more secure it becomes. It's just putting out more satellites. And when their internet goes out, ours doesn't. When they're sending out, nuclear radiation at us, we're not. And when they're taking our data, we've got it stored on our mom's lands with, BlackBerry Pis and different servers and whatever we can. But we don't want anyone touching our data. We're on a real reservation, right? Like we're on Penticton, right on the corner of Penticton. We're cut right off of the internet. We're cut off of power. We have a unceded territory at Saka over there. We don't allow anyone to touch that. We don't even do internet. We have our own intranet. We're paranoid. TheMan.com has scared us. But anywho, this is now being made available globally instead of us just having a private way to communicate between devices that we had. And it's just a different type of intranet. It's weird. So with that said, it's just ultimately just trying to make a way for peace folks not to get milked and farmed out by corporations, that we could talk, do chat and more, and be able to just, grow. And we have a social network, all these things, just try to put people together instead of compete.
There's some questions coming in from the audience, so I'm going to put them here and hopefully you can answer them, Chief. Dr. Ivy is asking, how do we leave the current system to go into your system? Then there's another question from Morgine asking, is this just for the Indian nations or is it for all kind of like-minded souls?
Oh, these are epic questions. When we first started this, I mean, come on, it's been forever. So to hear these questions from a bunch of peace folks is almost hilarious to me, the stuff we went through. But it's awesome. It's fantabulous for us. But these are available now globally. These are global IoT connected 4G emergency devices. These are also super encrypted. This is a weird type of encryption. And yes, it's available to other nations, including the people we've created peace treaties with, to build a private network and communication with staff and other tribes to bring this all over the world, from the Hakka bringing it into China if we need to, and other Asian cultures, onto what we've done with North America, trying to put together tribes, and into Africa with the Twanas and Amonites and more, trying to put together the tribes. But now it just got too big, and we need help. So that's where we're at. We are starting to release products and devices that connects people to this network. They don't have to change their life. It's compatible. It's an internet just like you have internet elsewhere, except you're buying back your internet, and part of the proceeds goes towards everyone's projects involved. So it's just a way to grassroots grow together.
And Sherry Anderson is asking, what is the monthly fee?
That greatly depends. Right now, we're just now getting the first 500 devices re-released with the batteries and stuff. So it's going to be about $48 a month, unlimited in North America. It could go down from there. It's just going to depend on how many devices we put out. But yeah, $48 a month to month is what our planned goal is. If it's down from there, that's fine, but it won't be up from that.
Okay. And
the more devices we get out there, the stronger the mesh network becomes, because every device is a satellite sender and receiver, right? So at some point, we won't need to use the 4G LTE chips within the pods, which we have to pay AT&T, T-Mobile, whatever, the multiple carriers, so you never lose, because we're starting. But as more devices mesh together, ultimately we'll be able to completely get rid of any of your normal carriers. Everything will be love.
And we don't aim to compete with anyone. We actually are utilizing most emergency bands, like FirstNet is the biggest one, and we're on FirstNet with those devices. We're qualified with an FCC ID on those devices. We're a qualified product after all these years of work, but this isn't just a product. See, the problem with this whole project is we had lack of organization. Now that we have that, we're bringing it as an organization to grassroots grow everyone that touches it. So it's both, it grows the Peace Portals channels. People are buying back their internet, but they're getting proceeds for doing so to put towards their local community projects. There's a myriad of things to bring up, but just the actual product, the first one we're putting out is just a pod. It's just a little handheld pod like that big.
Actually, Scott, if you can go over to my screen, I'm going to put this in front of my shirt because I can't get rid of my background.
Sure.
This is what I'm using right here.
Okay.
See it, right?
Yep, we see a little triangular thing.
Right. This is actually the super pod. This was built for reservations. This can go out to a 15-mile radius and provide love network for people. 15 miles of clean energy that sucks in 5G and puts out a productive radionic low frequency energy that's good for people. This is what I'm on right now on this Zoom.
Wow.
Okay. So these mesh with the baby pods, the little pods, this little pod here. So we will have home versions, network versions for cities built specifically for the reservation. As Chief was saying earlier, this wasn't going to come out for, I'll just say, white people. This was only meant to be for the reservations, because that's what this man grew up on. And he is a world-class programmer and designed all of these systems and the dual blockchain technologies called the cube chain and the other things that go to this. People might think that's far from peace, but no, we need tools. Peace people need tools. We are on the cusp between the industrial age and the information age. We're not in the information age quite yet. When we get to economic systems that things like cryptocurrencies or community currencies that are not obligatory are available, then we'll truly be in the information age, because ages are defined by their economic model. And that's what love is doing, is it's saying, here's a whole new model for humanity. It's based on love. Okay. We don't have to compete. If we actually cooperated with one another, then everybody could do better. But our biggest problem, frankly, and I'm sorry if I'm being political here, but is that the government wants to control things. We now have a government that is sovereign, that's got a country that's less than 1,000 people, less than the number of people in like
1,100, yeah, 1,100 folks, Aboriginal, yeah,
100 noggin,
yeah.
but a recognized. And that's the key to this whole thing. This is not Elon Musk. This is not any, it's not Google, it's not Apple, it's not any of your normal technologies. This is put out for the purpose of completing the peace. That is exactly what the treaties say. When we work with other people, they have to sign a treaty with the Okanagan Indian Confederacy, and the purpose of the treaty is completion of peace for all people on Earth. That's why we're love, right? People look at me and go, "My God, Love Pod, man, that's on some kind of weird, show, and people are having sex and shit." Excuse my language, but we are love because we need as many people as possible to think of the word love. The emotion is stronger, but even the word is productive. So at any rate, sorry for being on a soapbox there for a bit, but I do.
I listen, this is The Awakening World. That's the show that we're on, and that's what this is all about. And clearly what all three of you is giving us is a glimpse into the future. You're giving us a beautiful, beautiful glimpse into where we're going. And, connecting through Michael's network and all discovering each other and using your technology that Stephen and Chief Engine have created. And, this is the future. And it's, and like any future product or future vision, there's stops and starts, and it's a dance to get it right and to bring it into alignment and then market it and get the right people. But you guys are doing it. And I'm excited. I'm seeing a lot of the comments. Susan Bloomquist writes, "What a wonderful use of technology." Reverend Jeffrey, of course, always says, "Lovolution is the solution to L.O.V.E." So this is very, very beautiful.
Can I add something to
yes, you sure can, Michael.
Scott, because what really intrigued me behind the technology is also through the understanding that First Nations wisdom and knowledge is essential to lead us into a new humanity. Without their wisdom, without their knowledge, we're not going to, I feel we're not going to be able to do it. With this device, we're going to be able to connect the far corners of the planet into a global conversation to also bring the wisdom of First Nations peoples in Middle and Central America and in Africa to the table, and include and have an inclusive dialogue, not a doctrinated approach to what a peace project or a peace process needs to look like. And so that's why I really feel that If we want to create something like the Library of Alexandria, where we bring the knowledge of First Nations people from around the planet into a circle, and we're going to be able to have those conversations, I think that's really where the value is. And also, like we've started at the beginning of show, once the system and the structure and the architecture that was created for us is going to come down, how can we build a safety net around potentially disaster areas, and how can the flow of food and water and shelter and supply move into certain areas where it's really needed, based on the involvement of the individual and based on the fact that we can do it immediately. And with the mapping system, we're going to be able to adjust anything at any given moment and really respond to what is needed around the planet in any area in the moment, and provide communication and therefore also the potential for relief. And that's really what I'm so honored, Jeff, Engine and Stephen, for our paths crossing, and I think this is going to be really, really, really powerful.
Thank you. On behalf of Matriarch Q and the Chin family that kept me alive, at least, I get my salary per year type life, but the tribe's growing, and the Chin family really helped me out, and that's who I've worked with since I was younger. And then I became a chief with Okanagan Indian Confederacy. But on behalf of Matriarch Q, what she's trying to do is release love and then let people grow with it. Each device grows their community just by selling or buying it. Each device builds the network so there's more connectivity. Each device grows individual projects of communities. Each device, it's not about that. It's about the exact magnetic liquid that's from the resonant frequencies that started it all, like a phoenix and dragon, you know? So a 1 and 0 or an eagle and condor, right, in the North American side of things. See, I trained more of the Bayou type training where I came out from Sierra Leone and trained up with Mrs. B. And so I did not train North American, but I have been training more on the African side as far as shamanic training. And with that said, North American tribes, they have it rough. It's the highest recidivist rate. It's the highest suicide rate. It's the highest STD rate. Things like that. So when I got involved, I had a successful company in 2018. I just donated it to Mom and called it a day, and started working on it together. And she doesn't even know what the internet is, everyone. So just so you know, she doesn't do the internet. She does spiritual. She does keeping family together. So she'll stay on those lands. I'll be over here working with y'all. It's just an honor to work with people that actually want to grow together and point out and give each other affirmation statements that matter, and actually create a cohesion that is of peace.
Beautiful. Well, there's a lot of questions coming in, and I think what I'd like to suggest is let's do a follow-up show in a few months as this becomes more, as you guys get it more ready and available for market, because this is obviously the future. One quick question, Jerry Anderson, our wild monk from the Mystic Monastery, is asking, does this work for those of us who travel all over the world? Does this work theoretically everywhere?
Yeah, it is. It does. It's a radionics device. So you could be on Mars or here. It's grid based. So it's kind of different on how it works. So it is global. And the more pods that go out there, the stronger the internet becomes, and less dead zones where there's jamming and stuff like that happen. So it's for global walking around. Right now, we're just releasing a North American version, seeing how that works.
Right.
Like the Pueblos tribe, the Zia Pueblos is kicking us off. They've agreed to their lieutenant governors to bring it into the 19 Pueblos. tribes for grassroots because they like mom's support of grassroots organizations like y'all's really. It's all a peace initiative, but they're ones that have brought it into the Jimenez Pueblos, for example, and we met with Janet and all of their people as well and did a Cloud Eagle ceremony, which was just epic. There were some kids that were awesome. But with that said, that's where we're at. We're just day zero. We're just bringing this out. We'll have websites, we'll have the links and stuff, but right now you're right, just revisiting how this can actually integrate instead of one person, how to protect it. I'd love some ideas. Although I can call a chaplain personally, I'd prefer not to. I'd prefer to be preemptive with our tribe,
Beautiful.
Jerry,
well,
you're going to have to wait a little bit. Look, what we have to do is put a couple thousand pods out there. That's it. Then we have enough radionic points that, yes, you could use it on Mars, or you can use it on your cruise ship, or you can use it in the Caribbean. Actually, Engine, I've got a video. We're putting up an Indiegogo to help support this. He was in Germany a couple months ago, and the Love Network showed up. That's the satellite network. That's the satellite portion. Now, we try not to go to the satellite. That's why it's only $48 a month. You go to Elon Musk and ask him for unlimited data from his satellite for $48 a month, and he's going to tell you to stick it, right? The whole idea here is that we will utilize the non-invasive, i.e. non-5G, non-6G, the 4G and 3G networks for data when that's available. When you don't have that available, then it will go to the satellite, which is how we can keep it cheap. Some people may not think $48 a month is cheap, but if you're on Comcast right now for your home network, you're paying over $100 a month.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have to lease the darn router for $15 a month.
Sure. There's no doubt. $48 a month is very reasonable, especially for us to be able to be using all the different advantages and keeping it in the family, keeping it in the tribe, no pun intended.
And $1 a month of those proceeds are put into a pot for everyone that purchased and all their communities. So we're just going to keep doing that recurring fund on all projects. So it's just going to keep getting bigger until people need it from here and other people. And then also on the back end of selling these, we've made it to where communities like yours can grow with it. So however you suggest, we're just going to try that way. We're open-minded, and it's just here to create a loving idea and work as a tribe. So global tribe, let's go. Let's go.
Absolutely. Well, I'm definitely going to have all of you guys on the show again. And that's what we do. We stay in touch with each other. Ian, just want to let you know I'm going to go to you in just a moment. So be prepared for me to put the camera on you. Thank you, Michael, Chief Engine, Stephen. Take a look at all the comments coming in. People are very excited about what you're doing. And there are some questions. If you want to answer any of those questions in the chat box, that would be great. But I kind of need to move us forward. We're going to do a quick update on Piper and Eleanor Joy. And then we're going to conclude with beautiful Tatiana, talking with her a little bit about her beautiful album and have one final song with Tatiana. But I have been in touch with Piper Dellums. Again, most of you know, both Piper and Eleanor Joy had surgery today. Piper in California, Eleanor Joy up near where you guys are, up in the Great Northwest. And I'm going to read to you the message that I just got from Piper about 1 hour ago. She says, I successfully made it through the 5th surgery today, and I'm awaiting the results so that I can go into the final surgery with all the answers. I am resting well. I'm praying for Eleanor Joy and to continue praying and supporting both of us so we can reach our final destination of health and well-being, for we both have so much more purpose and destiny in this world to fulfill. Please tell your tribe that I love them all. So that's from beautiful Piper Dellums. And I did see that Ian came into the Zoom room a few minutes ago. Ian, I'm putting the spotlight on you. There you are. Good to see you. And how is our beloved Eleanor Joy doing? Ian is connecting to audio, so hopefully he'll hear. Let us know, Ian, when you can hear me. Now I just need you to unmute. If you can unmute. Hello, Ian. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, I can. I can.
How's our girl doing?
She's doing very well. The surgery was successful. I was in to visit her about 3:30 our time this afternoon, and she was unconscious with a breathing device in her mouth. But she just phoned me, and her speech was a little inhibited, but we had a brief conversation, and she is feeling better, and obviously she can talk again, which is wonderful. I think it was very successful. Thank you.
Ian, this is great news. And
Oh, it is.
I know many of us have been praying for her and for Piper throughout the day. It was one of my
Yes.
first thoughts when I woke up this morning, and I sent out a little email reminding everybody. So
Yes.
please let her know that we love her. We're looking forward to seeing her on the show again soon, moving and grooving. And thank you, Ian, for coming on tonight to give us the update.
Yeah, I had to figure out how to do it on my phone because I usually listen on my computer, and I'm down in Victoria now.
Ian,
Yes.
you pulled it off, partner.
Yep. Thank you for your love and support. I really deeply appreciate it. And I know Eleanor does too.
My pleasure, Ian. And we'll look forward to seeing you, both of you, on Saturday night.
Okay, great.
Ian,
Scott.
send her a big hug from Ayata.
I will. Yes.
Hugs from all of us. Hugs from all of
Hugs
us.
from
and
everyone.
from Sylvia.
Starting
From
with me.
Sylvia and Ayata and everybody.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, we are going to go to our beloved Tatiana. You know, I forget what it was now. A few months ago, she did a special event where she played her new album all the way through for some of us. And it's a beautiful vision, lullabies for adults. And they really are that. You know, Tatiana has such a unique quality. She really is unlike any other musical artist. And I just love this album. And she has a Kickstarter campaign to get it off the ground. And those of us that donated at a certain level, we get a copy of the album.
You want the fan on in here?
Oh, please mute yourself.
I've done it.
Okay, thank you very much.
I believe Tatiana's Kickstarter is ending in the next 24 hours. Is that correct?
That's right. So first of all, there she is to tell us all about it.
Yes, so I am indeed creating this album. It's called Lullabies for Adults. It's a nourishing, restful, calming, somatic, like meditations and songs journey into the body, into the heart. And it's really an offering in this frenetic, sometimes disconnected world where we're going so fast all the time, to really land in our bodies, to come home to ourselves, to reconnect. It's also, I feel like what I'm offering with this too is just like this loving embrace of our humanity and just accepting being with ourselves exactly as we are. And for me, it's so simple, but that's been one of the most alchemical, transformative parts of my own growth journey, is just coming into deep compassion, deep love. So that's a little bit about this album. It is indeed the final 24 hours. Well, I think it's actually 40 hours left on the campaign.
Okay, I'm going to the page. So here's the campaign. And I'll put it into the chat box for everybody. You can also find it if you go to her website, tatianaspeed.com. But congratulations, you made your goal. That doesn't mean we should stop donating.
Yes, every cent is going to go towards this music. Absolutely.
And there it is. Congratulations. And we are going to hear, and when people pledge $20 Canadian or more, they will receive the digital download from you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And if they donate $50 Canadian or more, they get an actual digital album and a signed thank you card.
Yes.
And then tell us about the Oasis Women's Circle 2-month pass. What's that for
So
$100?
I am actually just preparing to launch. Well, I've done several months already, just month to month, of this Oasis Women's Circle. It's a really beautiful community of women, and I facilitate somatic and embodiment practices. It's a really nourishing, grounding, restful community where we just really come into contact with our bodies and ourselves and our hearts. A really, really healing environment. And I'm actually going to be launching a membership platform in, I think it's going to be April or May, probably April. And so, yeah, so if you get the $100 pledge, you're welcome to come for 2 months worth of the Oasis Women's Circle. And yes, we meet bi-weekly. There's also going to be songs, meditations. I compose new songs each week. Actually, this entire album was written for my Oasis Women's Circles. I channeled songs each week to facilitate women dropping in. And it actually developed this whole body of work just from from these women's circles. Yeah, so I would love to invite any woman to come. It's going to be a really nourishing, healing journey. And men, you're also welcome to gift this to a woman in your life, since I know it's kind of a little bit exclusive. But
Ayada just wrote in the chat box, I highly recommend Tatiana's Oasis group. I've taken a few of them, and they are so deep, nourishing, grounding, and uplifting.
Oh, thank you, Ayada. Oh. Yeah, so shall I play you a song?
We would love it. And this is one of the songs from the album, correct?
Yeah, so this is actually, Omashar, you've inspired me. So I could feel the album's not quite done, and I've been waiting to receive the last songs. And just in the last 2 days, the last 2 songs came. So I feel inspired to share the one that it's not done. Very, very fresh, very, very fresh, like literally working on it today, trying to finalize some of the lyrics and everything. But I feel inspired in this community to share what I have so far. And yeah, I just invite you to come into a warm embrace with yourself and this community, whatever you're holding in this moment, to come into the song, kind of offer it into this beautiful, loving space that we're sharing together right now. This doesn't have a name yet, but here we go. Oh, my love, I know how hard you try. You give it all you've got. And oh, my love, I know it hurts sometimes when it doesn't seem to be enough. You don't have to hold this anymore. Oh, you don't have to hold this anymore. It's alright, it's alright. Oh, my love, if you could only see just what you mean to me, it would put you at ease. You are so loved, rest at ease. You don't have to hold this anymore. Oh, you don't have to hold this anymore. It's alright, it's alright.
that it's hard to break out of the mold and that has held you all your life. I know you have a wild spirit that longs to fly up out of this darkness into the sky. You think you lost your way, you can't get it back. Feel like your life has gotten way off track. I promise you this, that all is well. It'll be okay, it'll be alright. Don't worry, it's gonna be okay. Let your fears, let your past just wash away. All your dreams are coming true every single day. It can be hard to see the light when our inner world is gray, but it's shining there. I promise you, nothing is so dark that the light can't seep through. You have so much in your heart to express. Even when this life seems like a mess, you are so blessed. Open up your heart, open up your eyes. There's so much more love for you than you realize. I love you. I'll stand by you for all of time, so open up your heart and let it shine. You think you lost your way, you can't get it back. Feel like your life has gotten way off track, but I promise you this, all is well. It'll be okay, it'll be alright. It'll be okay, it'll be okay. Let your worries, let your past just wash away. It'll be alright, it'll be okay. Let your fears just wash away. It'll be alright, it'll be okay. Let your worries just wash away. It'll be alright, it'll be okay.
Wow. I'm on gallery view, everybody. And what an
on the edges still, but
what an exquisite, beautiful, beautiful song. And again, just example of your wonderful artistry.
When I heard it, I thought, wow, how beautiful would it be for all the men to sing that to all the women? And then it turned into, wow, how beautiful is it for a woman to sing that to a man? And then I thought, wow, how beautiful is it if I sing it to my inner child?
Wow.
And when I invited Tatiana to come here tonight, she said, those are my favorite people. And I know why. Thank you, Tatiana.
How blessed we all are to be finding each other, to sharing our gifts, creative expressions like Tatiana provides, new technologies, new ways of connecting. We all are playing our role. And I want to say to everybody watching, we all have our own role to play tonight. We heard from certain people and what they're doing, but everyone watching, whether you're watching on Facebook or in the Zoom room, God bless you and the role that you're playing in creating this awakening world. I'm going to read one last comment, and then this is from Grace Denise. She says, I'm passionate about our creating a fair and beautiful world that brings dignity and well-being to all, and that supports our inner truth. I want to see it realized based on our coming together in a mutual, uplifting, grounded way in our deepest wisdom, and drawing upon the highest in ourselves. It will be based on our creativity and on the feminine qualities of tenderness and respect for life and personal expression, and the masculine qualities of ingenuity, focus, and innovation. What a beautiful message, Grace. Thank you so much for that. Michael, thank you for putting this show together. Tatiana, what a wonderful pleasure to have you with us again on a Wednesday night show. And I want to close by letting people know what's going on Saturday night. And everybody, you're going to want to be live in the Zoom room for the Saturday night, because we are going to have a series of personal healings. All of the people joining us are healers and channels from Soul Search TV, such as Kalina. You all remember Kalina. She's been on the show many times. And these people, these wonderful beings that you see, are going to be providing healing treatments and psychic readings for you, our Zoom room audience. So it's going to be a really, really wonderful show. Also, we've just added Peter Sterling is going to play harp music to open the show. Of course, Omashar will be with us, and another amazing musical artist, Nita Boyne. So it's going to be a good, solid 3-hour show, concluding with our own Diara doing a group healing for everybody. So make sure you come Saturday night. This would be a good night for you to invite friends of yours to check out the Awakening World. It's going to be a very, very special and exciting show. So that's what we've got coming up on Saturday night. And I will bring up one last time. Of course, we've got Tatiana and Michael. I'm going to bring up our Chief Engine one more time so we can appreciate him. And Omashar one more time so we can appreciate him. And Steve. And if I can find Stephen with us. There he is. Here we go. Thank you, all of you, for being on the show tonight, for your contributions. I want to encourage people that are interested in knowing more about the technology, save the chat, because there's a lot of answers that came in to the questions. Stephen was busy providing a lot of answers during Tatiana's song. So save the chat so you can go through and get the links, go by the Love Pod, the L.O.V.E. pod. And as you see, a beautiful woman jumping into there is Mrs. Stephen. Hello, Mrs. Stephen.
Mrs. Stephen, that's great.
Like a ghost coming in and out of the picture.
Temple. I was at the Love Temple.
Hey.
The Love Temple also?
And David?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Our old friend.
How wonderful. How wonderful.
Another sense, the Love Temple.
Amazing. Someday I'll tell people more about the Love Temple. It was an amazing 5-year chapter of my life. Really, really special. All right, everybody. Thank you, Tatiana, Michael, Chief Engine, Stephen, Mrs.
Peace.
Stephen, and beloved brother Omashar, and our Global Peace Tribe audience. I'm going to gallery view one last time for everybody to wave. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, everybody, watching on Facebook. Have a beautiful few days. Keep the prayers going for Piper and Eleanor Joy, and we'll see you all on Saturday night. Good night, everybody.